Hi everyone, LazyFire here. Welcome to the Hate the Player podcast. In this episode, Three Toes absolutely completely forgot how the record function works, and so we lost about 15 minutes of the show. I was going to just edit out the parts where he talked, but unfortunately there were a lot of parts where he was, throwing stuff in there, and you just hear me and Arnold laughing at nothing. So I start off this episode really with a rant towards him and his fucking inability to hit the record button. Sorry, buddy, you really need to learn when to hit the record button when we say hit record. It's not difficult. It shows you in Audacity if it's recording. It shouldn't be hard. I'm surprised that man, can function in normal society. Anyways, he also recorded the new theme song you already heard. So, enjoy the rest of the podcast. Hopefully we have a few more mistake-free ones, and you don't have to hear me talk to you, like this ever again. If anyone was, listening, I guess. Bye. Fucking kidding me? You got a fucking Apple II over there with your fucking broke ass, fucking putting floppy disks in every 4 seconds to record more audio. You goddamn have to be kidding me.
I will hang up this Skype call right now.
It's only going to take me a while because I have to go through the fucking DOS prompt to get there. Hold on.
I won't have you say anything bad about the Apple II. Half of my childhood memories.
Yeah, I don't appreciate your tone.
Yeah. How come? Why have they not made or remade not Appalachian, but rather Oregon Trail in more recent years with, at this point, you could fucking put the original on fucking Steam and make a mint. Where is that goddamn game at?
What they need to do? They need to remake Dinosaur Tycoon. Because that game fucking owned.
Dinosaur Tycoon. Huh. I don't know. Their remake, there's the company that's making Elite Dangerous, which is Star Citizen, but it seems to be actually releasing at some point in the near future. They're making a Roller Coaster Tycoon spiritual successor right now. Put it on early access the same week Shenmue 3 went on early access. Despite the fact that that game is being funded by Sony, the people still gave it $6.5 million. Like fucking morons.
Wow, that's impressive.
I mean, to be fair, the first Shenmue was really, really fun.
Did you see, there's a reel out there of people who were reacting to Shenmue 3 being announced at E3? God. And it was, video game journalists who were, talking about the event and everything. And they're, on their knees crying with how happy they are that Shenmue 3 is a thing. And I'm not gonna, I don't care about this game at all now. I've absolutely lost all interest. I didn't have a lot of interest to begin with, because I never played the first two anyways, but from what I recall, it was a forklift simulator. And, you don't have my interest or my money on this one. And, it doesn't matter. A bunch of nerds gave a bunch of money to this game that's already being funded by Sony, and the Kickstarter is just there to have a Kickstarter. Fucking, are you serious?
You know what game I found myself going back to recently?
What?
Nuclear Throne.
Yeah.
There have been a lot of little updates. I think
they do weekly updates. Yeah, they do weekly.
And there's a lot more variety of weapons, and you get a lot more things sooner, and it's got a lot more polish on it that it actually has the title screen now.
Oh, whoa, what?
Yeah.
That's weird. They shouldn't do that. That's wrong.
Yeah, and I think co-op play is going to be in some point, so we should definitely...
oh, yeah. That'd be great.
I hope Friendly Fire's on.
Oh, God. I can't imagine it being on in that game.
In a bullet hell.
Yeah, it's basically... Yeah, you'd have to be dodging everyone's bullets ever. There are certain classes I cannot play in that game, and then there are certain classes...
I only play Steroid ever.
I play Steroid all the time. He's the best class.
Yeah.
Because you can have a melee weapon, you can have a gun, and you can fire both of them at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
That's best.
Personally, I prefer shotgun. I really, really like the shotguns.
Oh, they're good.
And then I like having a bullet weapon as a secondary.
Yeah, the shotguns are great in that game, especially if you get the what is the scatter gun or something like that?
Yeah, the bouncing thing.
Oh, it just bounces everywhere and you fuck everything up. So, Three Toes, if you haven't really been paying attention, Nuclear Throne is a game that
I've seen a few Let's Plays of it.
It's pretty good.
Top-down shooter. Pretty
It's
fun.
like it
Roguelike. Sort
maybe
of.
maybe it's different when you're playing it, but like trying to watch videos of it, I cannot follow what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
Like it's so like fast paced, or whoever's playing like obviously knows what the fuck they're doing and just breezes through levels really really quickly.
It's hard,
and,
but
like,
it's fair.
Yeah.
Much like my
Boy.
personality.
Rape tokens. So, yeah, it's actually a lot of fun. I want to get back into it at some point because I keep, the fact that my computer, died, that kind of hurt things a bit. So, I want to download it again, play a few rounds, and just see where it is because I haven't played it in a while. But it's one of those games where if I'm like at my computer and nothing's happening, I will just go and like turn that thing on and play for a bit. Alright, looks like Arnold, you have to head out.
Yep, it's that time.
Speaking
True
of that
Detective isn't
message
gonna
you
watch
just
itself.
speaking of that message you just sent, anyone else really psyched to go see the Straight Outta Compton movie?
I am.
I cannot
Wait, what?
wait.
There's a Straight Outta Compton movie?
Yeah. Straight from the underground.
It's like
What?
history of NWA. It's like the NWA story. It
Yeah.
should be coming out in this sometime in
It's
August,
like
isn't it?
2 weeks. Early August. My wife's birthday, actually.
Like, and fucking
so-
Ice Cube is in it.
Yeah.
No shit.
He's not playing Ice Cube.
He's
Paul
not.
Giamatti's in it.
Yeah, I saw that. That's great. Paul Giamatti plays the uptight white music agent so
Can't
well.
believe that.
Yeah.
But alright, guys.
Yeah.
Been fun. Try not to wreck this shit too hard.
Yeah, well, couldn't do much worse than we are now.
Yeah, maybe I'll talk about Polybridge again.
Oh. I don't know. Is he? Who is he in that movie? Get
Ice
out of
Cube's
here,
not
Arnold.
playing Ice Cube?
Actually, if Arnold leaves, we might lose the call.
I don't know. I'm still here.
Okay. What the fuck?
I don't know why Ice Cube would not be playing Ice Cube because he really doesn't look that much older.
O'Shea Jackson Jr. That's Ice Cube's son. Yeah. So his son's in the movie playing him.
Oh, okay.
So that might be. I think he calls himself Little Cube or something like that. I can't.
Ice Chip.
Ice Chip. Yeah, that might. Pregnant Living Love 'em. But yeah, I'm actually kind of up for that. And it was directed by F. Gary Gary, who has easily the most repeatable name in music business. Let's see. Got a guy playing Dre, guy playing Easy, guy playing... Oh, good. MC Ren is in it, because I saw a preview of it the other day. Suge Knight's going to be in it.
Really?
Well, no. Guy playing Suge Knight.
Oh.
Um,
I was about to say, I hope it goes through like the whole like beef with Dre and Eazy-E.
yeah, it doesn't say how long it's... like, all it says is they emerged from the mid-'80s.
Mm.
But I was in a bar the other day, and it was on the trailer was on TV, and I'm watching it, and it started off with Ice Cube, and then it never covered MC Ren at all, and I'm like, because it says Ice Cube the poet, and if MC Ren's in this, he better be titled the villain, or I'm gonna be fucking upset, and I don't think he was. I'm kind of upset now.
Mm. What about the DOC?
I think he was the technician or something like that. I only saw it for a second, and I've been drinking all day, so I don't really...
Gotcha.
'Cause I went to a brewery, and I bought 2 growlers of beer, and then we ate them with, like, clam fritters. It was great.
You ate them?
Drank. I ate clam fritters while drinking them.
Gotcha.
Because I've talked about it, Outer Light Brewery, which is right near where I work.
Yeah.
We convinced a couple friends to go down there, and I got two 64-ounce growlers filled up there, because they will fill up any growler you bring in. I guess
Nice.
there's only 2 states where it's required that you have to buy a growler from the beer company that you were having filled up. So when I go to Burlington next month, that's gonna be like, I'm gonna go to wherever I go. I'm just gonna have a growler in the van and just like, guess what, son? fill this up.
Yeah, most places here aren't dicks about it. It depends on like where you're at. Like
Oh yeah.
Whole Foods, they require you use one of their growlers. Like even if you're just doing a refill. So yeah, like most of the grocery stores will require you to use one of their growlers, but most of the breweries don't give a shit. Most of the actual like beer exchange places don't give a shit. Like, and usually the places that require to use theirs like don't do much business because they're just like, well, fuck you, I'll just go somewhere that'll fill mine.
Yeah. Got to get mine. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like they. It's a very weird thing because I know that there is a place over near where I used to work that it's like a brew, like a tap room basically, is it?
Yeah.
And if you do not come in with one of their growlers, they will not exchange it out because because they don't fill the growler there, they exchange it out for one that's already filled.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, so if you come in,
It's like
you're
a
like
propane exchange.
yeah, basically, it's kind of like that. And so you come in, you're like, I'd like a porter, and they look at it and go, okay, and they just take the growler you hand them, and they go, here's a porter, and like, this is bullshit. Like,
That's so weird. I wonder if it's something with the laws, like they can't have like kegs on the premises or something. Like they can only retail bottles, or
no, it's a tap room, and they brew in the back. They have windows so you can see them brewing and everything.
wow, that's still really weird though.
Yeah, like you were saying a couple weeks ago when we did the podcast, it may just be a branding thing.
Yeah,
Like they're just trying to make sure that their brand gets out there because, I mean, they're filled with white people with handlebar mustaches, so they're a brewing company. But you know it's not a huge tap room exactly, and it's not
Right.
exactly in the most obvious place. It's like kind of on a street that's off a street that's kind of a mile away from the biggest employer in the area. And actually, the one time I went in there, I was still working at the company I used to work at, and there were people talking about people I knew while I was going through, and I'm like, oh man, I don't want to be here. So when I was at the one I was at Saturday night or Friday night, I was going through and I'm looking around, I'm like, I don't know any of these people. That is fantastic because it's about 12 seconds away from where I work. Like, if you get in your car and you have some favorable lights, you can be there in less than a minute.
Nice.
So it was kind of funny, but yeah, I did that on Friday, and then Saturday, some friends called us up and they wanted to go to this local brew pub, and it's actually sort of a well-known one. I think it was named either the best in New England or the best in the country a little while ago. Willie Brew, and they brew on their premises, but they also do. They also have like rotating guests, and they officially now have a rotating sour.
Huh.
So sours are getting big. There's now a competing not alcoholic root beer because there's Coney Island root beer now. They call it hard root beer. I think it's going to be a thing unto itself soon.
Dude, people have been going ape shit over that.
Oh, they have.
Not your father's root beer. Like, and I don't get it. Everyone's actually like, "Oh, I found it." It's in most grocery stores here now.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
I want to say that I never looked them up after I mentioned this last time. I'm pretty sure InBev or somebody has bought them out, and that's why their distribution's so high.
Yeah, I don't know. It's let's check it out. Wow, I typed in "not your" and then "not your shield" immediately came up. That's kind of scary. Yeah, it's everywhere. It's Atlantic City's talking about it. I got Georgia here. Boston Globe has an article about it. People, I was at work and like my boss is like, "Hey, have you heard about this alcoholic root beer?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I have." But like from what I can tell, they're not owned by anybody. It's just some guy saying that his great-great-grandfather brewed beer, and now he brews beer because that's how all of America started or something. It's general, like, every company I go to, every time I hear, like, some guy who started brewing in his backyard in 19 or whatever, using his great-grandfather's recipes, or we use the German recipes. It's only the 4 ingredients.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. The same thing you hear at every fucking brewery you've ever been to. If you've ever been on a brewery tour, you've heard, we use our basic ingredients, the 4 basic ingredients of beer. And I don't give a fuck. Like, I just don't. We've just hit that point where if you start off your tour with that, I want to strangle you. Because I've been to, like, if I'm at your brewery, I have probably been to other breweries. Please do not tell me about this. Like,
well, I mean, that's the thing. There's only so much you can talk about on a brewery tour. Like, if you've seen, for the most part, if you've been on one brewery tour, you've been on all of them.
Yeah. Well, to a degree. I mean, the Magic Hat one's fantastic. You should really go and do that. If you ever get into the Burlington area.
I've heard that. I've also heard New Belgium's is really, really cool, too.
Beer Pulse.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Pabst began selling it.
Oh, Pabst owns it now.
Let's see. Yeah, it looks like Pabst is actually like a contract brewer on it. That's why it's everywhere.
Okay.
Pabst is contract brewing, not your father's. That makes sense to a degree. But that's probably why it spread so fast and so easily, because Pabst is fucking everywhere. Like, they're hitting all the hipster points that they can right now. It's like we had the yuppies a couple of years ago with just Pabst Blue Ribbon guys still riding that 1832 win.
Dude, like the number one retailer of PBR is here in Charleston.
Really?
Like nationwide, yeah. They were number 2 for like 3 years in a row, and they finally got number 1.
They finally got that blue ribbon.
Yeah, and it is a huge hipster dive bar.
Oh, is it? Damn.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have guessed that at all. There was like a while ago this has become a beer chat episode. A while ago we were at my friend's birthday party, and they were doing it in this really nice like cafe sort of place. It's a little expensive, but you go through and you get like 5, it's like a come in, spend some money, you get a 5-course meal, and you get, you can get whatever drinks you want. And so we're getting like, tall boys or like bottles of, whatever it is, because they didn't have anything on tap. And one guy just started buying Pabst. And we're like, that man's a hero, because everything we were buying was like $8 a bottle, and he's buying the $2 bottle of Pabst. It's like, that man is a hero. I want to be his friend. Like, all this. It was kind of funny. But that's a beer story, I guess. In more video gaming news, it's now said that Batman Arkham Knight will not be fixed till sometime in the fall. Yeah.
Awesome.
After that rumor started coming out, WB released a statement saying that they're working very hard on fixing the game, and the next major patch that's targeted to fix most issues will be in August. But they did not say anything about if the game is going to be up and running by September or so, or whatever it is, because they're really targeting getting the game back out to digital retailers by that point, like re-releasing the game in the fall. Yeah. Or autumn, whatever you want to call it. Why does that fucking have 2 names?
I never hear anyone say fucking autumn.
Fucking autumn. Well, if you're like talking about some girl that doesn't have all her vaccines, you're like, fucking autumn will not sit down. That might be it. But by law, any girl named after a month or a season is probably going to have some sort of issues.
Probably. With
regards to her parenting or her parents. So, right there. Sorry, everyone named April. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. That's just kind of hilarious that I don't think you were here for that, but when I told Arnold about it, but apparently WB was well aware of the situation with the PC version of the game and went forward anyways. That is hilarious to me. It's like they just do they expect people to just not care? Is that it?
I guess.
It's like, oh, it's out. Oh, it's bad. It's a bad PC port. Oh well. It's like, but it was so spectacular.
It's a Batman game. They'll buy it.
Yeah, it was so spectacularly bad. They actually had to tell people go get Steam refunds. That's kind of funny.
Yikes.
Yeah. I can't really think of anything else. Oh, I found a guy to hate on, like, pretty hard. Because somebody linked me somebody linked me his a video of him talking about how he tried to go play Call of Duty, or not, sorry, he plays Call of Duty. That's all he is. He's a member of the FaZe clan even. And he apparently was talking about how people in Counter-Strike are freaks of nature or something like that. And his entire videos, they're like 4 or 5 minute long videos, and it's just jump cuts of him playing Call of Duty, like Modern Warfare 2. Like, and these are like recent videos. He's going in and playing like PlayStation 3 version videos of the game, and it's just, he's trying to tell a story, and he gets so caught up in whatever he's saying, he has to jump cut, and he's cutting out like a quarter of a second at a time. Like, any time that is not occupied by him talking is just jump cut, jump cut, jump cut, jump cut. And he's got to spend more time cutting that video together than he does fucking playing that game.
Yikes.
His name is Jev. Let's see, one of his sample video names is Too Many Butt Pics. So, I mean, right there, obviously. That's probably a good video name. Yeah. Also, I got heavy into making fun of sovereign citizens this weekend. Because there was that whole thread in GBS that was sovereign citizens getting owned. And gotta say that that's a very fucking satisfying series of videos to watch.
Yeah, it's kind of like watching Bitcoin destroy itself.
Yeah. Well, now that it's completely destroyed itself, I don't know what I can do. Like, it did that a while ago, and it was great.
Well, I mean, it's probably because most sovereign citizens were probably Bitcoin investors.
Oh, yeah. But it's just funny, because they'll be, they'll get pulled over by the cops, and the cop will be like, "Are you a citizen?" The best one was, this guy got pulled over crossing the border, and the cop asks him if he's a citizen of the United States, and the guy goes, "I refuse to answer the question. It's like, if you can just say yes and give me your license, I will let you go. There's no problem here. I just want to ask this question. I'm required to by my job." "Oh, I don't feel comfortable answering this question, officer. I don't feel like you have any authority to ask this question." And so the cop actually starts reading him. You must get this all the time. He started reading him the exact area of, like, the law that says, "I can do this to you." Yeah. Like, you have to submit this stuff to me and you can be on your way. And the cop's giving this guy so many outs. Just say, yeah, give it to me and I'll let you go. There's no problem. We don't have any issues. If you just give me your license and registration and a proof of insurance, you can go on your way. And because sovereign citizens have something wrong in their fucking skull, this guy is just, like, arguing with the cop, saying, "Well, no, I don't have to do that because it's not part of the common law that I have to give you this information." And the funny thing is, like, these guys do not recognize the Constitution until they're, like, actually being arrested. Oh, yeah. They're like, "I want to exercise my Fifth Amendment rights." It's like, 10 seconds ago you said you don't care about the Constitution at all. It's just like this weird collection of laws that exist in their skulls that are applicable to them and only them. And so in that one, the cop's like, if you don't, the cop's being recorded, and he knows he's being recorded. He was told he was being recorded. The cop says, "If you don't give me this stuff and you start rolling up your window or driving away, I have to break you. Like, I cannot let you go. You were suspicious, and I should arrest you for possibly, evading arrest." And the guy's like, "Okay, yeah, sure." And the cop gets down for a second. He starts rolling up the window, and the cop just like, "Sir, roll down the window, or I'm gonna break it. Don't break it, man. Just roll it down."
I saw that.
Yeah, it's just, it goes back and forth. And the cop eventually just breaks it and unlocks it and takes the guy out. It's like, you could have avoided, like, a lot of time in this conversation. You could have avoided a lot of officers spending their time breaking your window. You could have avoided expenses and a jail trip if you just handed over your license, if you have one.
Yeah.
It's just like the dumbest people. It's amazing. God damn, they're stupid. It's almost as bad as Bitcoin, you're right. So I know this has been a beer chat and less video game chat episode.
Yeah, that's okay.
Because Polybridge.
Fucking Polybridge.
Fucking Polybridge. Have you played more Binding of Isaac?
I have. I'm still trying to unlock everything.
Yeah.
So, like, I may just, like, cheat and find, like, a save file when it comes to all, or at least just unlocking the Lost. Like, I have no problem, like, trying the actual challenges with the Lost, but the whole procedure you have to go through just to unlock the character is just a pain in the ass.
Yeah, that's a weird one. What is it? It's like you have to beat the game with all the characters. Or
no,
something?
you have to. Well, maybe you have to do that before you can actually unlock the Lost. But you have to die several times in a row with specific characters dying to specific certain circumstances.
What?
So, like, you have to start off as dying. I think it has to be in like whatever order it is. You can look it up on any Isaac wiki. But I think it starts off with Isaac has to die to a Mullaboom on the base on the cellar, and like, so if you're playing as Isaac and you start off in the cellar, you say, oh, and then you find some Mullabooms, like, oh, okay, I need to die right here. Then you have to load up the next character, might be Maggie or, whoever else is fucking next. They have to die in a specific circumstance too. So if you get through, you die as the one character in one certain circumstance, get to the next one, if their circumstance never pops up, like, you're shit out of luck. You gotta start all over again, trying to die. It's just a pain. It looks like a pain in the ass. I'm sure it's probably, maybe there's a trick to it. Because there's that whole, like, hold down R thing.
Yeah.
To, like, just generate a new level whenever you want.
Yeah, that should be whatever.
But it's like, fuck, dude, like, that's... Why? Like, why would you do that? It's just a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it feels like that might have been an Easter egg that people just assume is a thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's not... I get if you want to make stuff difficult to unlock based on, like, skill and, like, play, but in terms of just, like, fucking luck and just making it overly difficult and a whole ordeal, like, that's just not pleasurable to me. I'd rather just load up someone's save file at that point.
Yeah, that makes more sense, really. But it's, I don't know, the weirdness in some of those games. It's similar to, I don't know, you played some of the older NES games and there were like very specific tricks you had to do. You know what it reminds me of all of a sudden is, remember Braid? There was like a very secret special thing that you could get, but you'd have to wait. It was like every 60 minutes it would happen. And so if you got to the thing at the right time, it was just like one level in one spot you had to do this thing in. You'd have to wait on this one screen for however long it took for this one thing to flicker on the screen so you could do it. And of course that happened. That was a thing. Of course it was. And if you died, you'd have to go back and do it again.
Jeez.
Yeah. So that's kind of what it reminds me of, but I get the feeling that they didn't mean to do it that way for some reason. I feel like it was supposed to be I don't know, like a very secretive sort of whatever thing that you could get, but probably weren't meant to do.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm
Me
not
either.
It's a weird life with what they're doing there with Isaac. They have a patch or an update coming out for that, right?
I mean, I thought it was like always getting updates. I don't know when the next one's due. I haven't really been following it.
I meant there was supposed to be a DLC or something.
I don't know. I really haven't been looking up much news on it, other than I know like Afterbirth or whatever is like in the works, but that's probably like more than a year out. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know if they're doing it as like an add-on or DLC, or if it's going to be a whole nother like standalone game.
Yeah,
like Rebirth was.
I thought it was supposed to be something that was just like, I don't know. I don't know anymore. Whoa, holy shit! Who are they not? I'm sorry. I'm looking at the Straight Outta Compton thing again. So, Eazy-E, Ice Cube, Dr. Dre, Ren, Yella, Arabian Prince, of course. Another guy, the DOC, Paul Giamatti's character, Jerry Heller. And then we kind of go down the list. Ice Cube's wife is in the movie, Kimberly Woodruff. And I mean, she's playing a character in the movie. I thought that was who he's married to. Snoop Dogg, Suge Knight, Warren G, Jimmy Iovine, so the whatever his name is, Iovine, yeah, that's what he calls himself. Chuck D for some reason, Keith Shockley, T-Bone, Tupac's in it. I mean, Jesus Christ. Well, these are all characters in the movie, so it's basically not just going to be NWA, which lasted from what 1998 to 1989 with its original lineup. Or no, it was longer than that. It was like 87, 88, 86 to 89, 90. But,
yeah, they've got to be covering like the whole split with Death Row and everything.
Yeah, I would think so.
Which I mean is going to be the most interesting part, honestly.
But it's just, oh man, it's hilarious. Like they've got everyone they could think of that was from California at the time, and it's hilarious that they got Ice Cube's son to play him. That's fantastic. I don't care anymore.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's all you can ask for.
Yeah.
Yes, Kimberly Woodruff is married to Ice Cube. I was right. I know way too much about Ice Cube. This may actually be a true thing. Oh, you know what the worst part of having to format my hard drive was? Actually, it turns out it was losing, like 20 videos of Counter-Strike.
What?
Yeah, I recorded every game I played for almost 2 months, and so even if I had gone and put an episode up every single day for the next few weeks, it would take 3 weeks to get through every episode I'd already recorded.
Yikes.
Yeah, I was very lazy about editing those things too. But now I actually recorded a bunch this week, or like 3 or 4 videos. And I have one where I angered a child because I told him it was a bad idea to use tactics he learned watching pros play in tournaments to play in Silver League. And he goes, "I'm not a Silver League, I'm a Gold League." And I go, "That does not matter. You are still playing against Silver League players and we're losing." And he just like could not handle his life at that point and was just like yelling at me. I lost the one where I got a kid to like, I asked why someone went AFK, and I go, he should turn like 16 and be able to tell his mom to go fuck off. And this kid goes, he's not that young. And I'm like, what is he, like 11? He's like 12? How old are you? And he's like, yeah, I'm 14. And I just fucking lost it. And I just like, I ripped on this kid, and he's like, he doesn't sit in his chair playing video games all day like you do. And I go, you're right. I don't play video games all day either, though. I have sex sometimes. He's like, oh yeah, you have sex. I bet all you do is just lie there while she rides you. I'm like, wow, you got some really specific fantasies about me, boy. And
Dude, that's the best kind. If I don't have to do any work, are you kidding me?
Yeah, I just like, that's a very weird insult. It's like, if I just say this, if I just say, I didn't even say with your mom or anything like that. I just said in general, just to see what would happen. And the kid just like fucking, he didn't have insults. He just tried. He reached for whatever insult he knew of. And whenever you can make somebody angry enough to just throw out random insults at you and then eventually murder you in the game and then not talk to you for the rest of the game at all, that's pretty good. I feel good about that. Too bad I lost that video. But whatever. We've been doing this for a while.
Yeah.
We should stop doing this. I don't mean like overall forever, but I mean for right now.
Nah, just forever.
Yeah, okay, fine, forever. So, good night. Roll Tide.
Goodbye forever.
Goodbye forever.